Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry. My audio devices are always different depending where I am working from. But good seeing everyone again. Sorry for postponing last week's meeting. Hopefully no one was trying to get into the meeting last week. I was talking to Naomi and realized that I hadn't even sent out a reminder about our recurring meeting that we were trying to do every second Tuesday of the month. So hopefully no one was trying to call in last week. And you guys also saw that email, but glad to see you guys can make it today. It's about 5:32. Maybe we'll just give it another minute here before we start. Does everyone have the agenda though that
Yes.
was part of the email? Okay, good.
No, I don't. I didn't get it.
I will send it to you, Jay.
Thank you.
It's at the bottom of the email that has the link for this meeting.
Oh, I went to the link that night Naomi sent out today or yesterday. I'll check.
There, Jay, I just sent it to you. So hopefully you get that soon. But it's 5:33. Why don't we just get started? Thank you, everyone, for joining the Youth Services Committee meeting. It's already the middle of March, and so time is flying by quickly. The Rotary year is almost over, actually, and there are just a few more things that are coming up that I'd love to, have you be a part of and attend and try to promote here. There's also, it's not that the Rotary year ends either. The Rotary year ends, but it's not that Rotary stops in July or June. I will be Sandy's Youth Service Committee Chair next year, so hopefully that provides some continuity. I appreciate everyone being a part of the Youth Services Committee for the district and being your club's youth service chairs and whatnot. I know some folks have already let me know that they cannot or they will not be continuing on as the youth service chair next year. I know there's always going to be the turnover and whatnot, but I hope you do let your future next year's youth service chairs know and feel free to invite them to these meetings. By all means, there are no restrictions on attendance to these meetings at all. So if you are going to be switching out, please feel free to invite your next year's youth service chair to these meetings, because I do want to try to keep momentum going where we can. And I hope you all have felt that this year we were able to do some things in youth service, maybe not everything we wanted to do, but we did quite a bit of other things virtually and in person. But next year hopefully is going to be a little bit more positive with everything opening up again. So we'll touch a little bit about that as we move through the agenda. But again, I'll just as kind of a housekeeping thing, if you are going to speak just for the first time, maybe just please introduce yourself and maybe what club you're with, just so we know who you are and who you're representing, because there's always a ton of faces and names when I'm going through Rotary meetings. So again, so I'm Ryan Charm, the Youth Services Chair. I'm with the Honolulu Sunrise Rotary Club as well. And we'll start the meeting here. I'd like to just give the first few minutes of the meeting always for just any good news, events coming up, projects that have been completed with folks' Rotaract or Interact clubs. Does anybody want to share maybe any thing that they and their clubs have done with youth services or with their Interact or Rotaract clubs that might be of interest to anyone else in the committee? I know it's always hard to find ideas, especially now with COVID. So anybody want to share anything? We'll get a chance to go through some of the other things that have happened, like Ryla and Junior Ryla and other things, but just any news on Interact clubs and projects, things that have been going on. I'll open the floor. Challenging few weeks since the last meeting, I guess. Aries?
Tiara tried her best. Tiara tried her best, but our club wasn't able to commit to joining us for the Rotary at Work day. But we're trying to find something.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, thanks, Brian. With our Interact Club, I think with COVID and everything going on, they'd rather not do anything outside of their school, but are looking for opportunities that they can do within the school. And this is St. Andrew's Priory.
Yeah, that's been a fairly common theme this year. Just kind of is what it is. But okay, Naomi, do you have anything to update from Rotaract? I know they've been looking for projects.
Oh, well, actually, we had four Rotaractors come out on Saturday to plant trees. We did 610 trees in an hour and a half with about 20 people. So that was the Rotaract Club of Honolulu, which is part of the Rotary Club of Honolulu. Rich Proctor, his group was there too. So they were really a fun group, and they had a good time to plant trees.
Great, and that was with the Eco Clubs project up on the North Shore.
Yep.
Great, sounds good. Okay, well, again, so I know it's been a challenging year. I do want to update you guys on some upcoming programs and recap on some past programs that we've done. And so it's good to see folks here who will be reporting on some of these. But I do want to start off with just Rotary and Toastmasters partnerships. So on February 13th, we did hold a joint Rotary and Toastmasters session webinar for just kind of an introductory session to go over both Rotary and Toastmasters and what the two organizations have to offer our youth within the state for public speaking. Oh, it was lightly attended, let's put it that way. I wish there were definitely more folks, but I think what was positive out of that event was, one, we got our first joint activity with Toastmasters on the youth side. I know Toastmasters is working with Rotary in other ways, but at least on the youth side, we were able to get a kind of a joint project together where they had the students who did attend talk about what mattered to them and how they wanted to impact their community around them. And I thought, we had a very nice range of students who were from the very, very shy to the more outspoken and go-getters. And so it was a very interesting but fruitful conversation. We had participants from Kailua High School, which was very interesting. We also had the student activities coordinator from Kailua High School there. And she found out about it through her principal. They don't have an active Interact club, I believe, right now at Kailua. So the word is definitely getting out. It's just a matter of us trying to throw the net and try to, get them there to attend and push them over the hump to attend the events. I was able to email out all these kind of activities to a lot of folks in the DOE, and so they definitely are spreading the word. I think we just obviously are seeing the challenges with our youth having a lot of competing interests in their time on the weekend. So that is the recap of the February 13th Toastmasters event. We will be having another one, and please mark your calendars. It will be on April 10th. It's another Saturday. It will be in the morning. We haven't yet set the time yet because we haven't fully developed the program yet, but it will be a continuation of this event, and we probably will retouch on some of the past, doing a pitch, doing the elevator speech, but this one will be a little bit more focused in directly on public speaking skills and opportunities for the students to do public speaking. So I will get a flyer together here in the next week and get the program kind of settled together. That's a little less than a month away already. So we'll send that out to all the youth services chairs like I did last time, and hopefully you can forward those on to your Interact clubs or your anyone in high school. Really, we're not, this is not simply focused on Interact. We're trying to drum up interest for many different schools, even if they don't have an active Interact club. And so, we'd be looking to either reactivate the Interact club that was there before, or try to start a new one. And so I think we have a lot of positive energy behind that. Even through the Ryla program, there were folks asking how to start an Interact club. So we will be trying to follow up here and do our best to get all the different schools involved. Does anybody have any questions on the Toastmasters thing? I know not a lot of detail yet on the program. I'm just trying to get you to kind of save the date right now. Anyone have any questions on that? It's a great opportunity. I think the students that did attend, really the public speaking is something they really feel like they do need to work on. And within the various levels of experience, there's always improvement to be worked on for public speaking. So I thought that was great. But if anybody have any questions, feel free to let me know. Jen, yes.
Just to let you know that the Waikea High School Interact Club is going to reconvene at least for elections so they can vote on their 21, 22 officers. So Ryan, as soon as you get that information for Toastmasters, I'll forward it to the person in charge there.
Great, great. It is an important reminder. So if you do have interactive clubs that are active, hopefully they have thought about transition planning to next year. My Roosevelt Club has already elected their officers. I have to make sure my Mid-Pacific Club is doing that, but they're usually pretty good. But please, yeah, if you are working with Interact Club, please make sure that they are looking to the future. And so, Jen, thank you for the reminder, and I will get that over to you as soon as I can. All right, next would be our Young Professionals Focus Group. This was another opportunity for folks to be involved with or get some exposure to Toastmasters. The last one in February was with Evan Tom, who's also a Rotarian and a Toastmaster with Kahala Sunrise, I believe, right, Naomi? And so they did have a Young Professionals networking event back in February. Is there another one tomorrow?
There's one tomorrow, and the guest speaker is CEO of Castle Foundation, Terry George. And so the group wanted to have access to a CEO each meeting. So that's what we're doing, trying to get someone to talk about their experience running an organization, their philosophy on being a CEO. And so this was something that they wanted to have. So if you have any suggestions for speakers, I think the group is open to it.
Great. And that is, again, that's open to anyone, right? I mean, bring a guest. Hopefully they're interested in Rotaract. But yeah, please, this was in Naomi's email that went out yesterday. The link and passcode is included on that, March 17th. 6 p.m., the Young Professionals Network speaker, Terry George, the CEO of the Castle Foundation. So thank you for that update on that, Naomi. All right, moving. Does anybody have any questions on that? Great, so moving on, HRYF, I thought I saw Jeff here.
You did?
Jeff, I know all the clubs were busy in February doing their HRYF interviews. Do you have an update you want to give everyone?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. This year we had 262 students apply. We've gotten through all the club level interviews. We're finishing up on the area interviews. I think I mentioned before, but this year we're going to be doing something different. In the past, all we've done to select the finalists were go over their applications and then make our decision and based upon that. This year, we're going to have the Zoom. We're going to interview them all on the Zoom, one by one, and the panel is going to be made up of Rotarians from each island. So all the islands will be represented so that we can get the most fairest and objective selection that we can. So, and just, just thank everybody for the good work.
Thank you. And is there going to be there was a luncheon before, but maybe not a in-person luncheon this summer, but is there going to be a summer kind of celebration?
Well, if we can't, yeah, I'm sorry, if we can't meet in person, we'll probably have a Zoom like we did last year. And actually, I kind of liked the Zoom because it brought all the islands together and all the students together with their parents, and we had some really touching stories from the parents as well as the students. So I think it's more effective that way.
Great. So we'll definitely be in touch, and let me know when that'll be, so the clubs can make sure that their students attend, and we have some Rotarians attend as well. So
yes.
Thanks.
And the only thing is, it's getting towards the end of the year, and we still like some clubs to push forward their membership contributions to try to meet the $40 per capita goals. So, and I'm sending an email out to the presidents, and I also send them out to the area folks, bugging them.
Right. Always important. I know it's always hard, especially now to fundraise. But
and that's why I said that, it's really hard with the pandemic going on and everything else.
But yeah, it's important stuff, and I always very kind of near and dear to my heart. So thank you, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we did host a statewide Ryla this year. I was had a short part of that, but Tim did and the committee did a great job. And so Tim, I'll pass it off to you to do a quick update for us as well.
All right, aloha everyone. Great to be with you. Huge mahalos to Jen and to Brian and to Karen that are on. I hope I'm not missing anybody else. Part of our statewide planning committee that helped to create an incredible Ryla experience a few weeks ago, Friday evening and all day Saturday. We brought together 89 students from all across the Hawaiian Islands, along with 13 youth facilitators, 11 Alakai Rotarian mentors, and about 15 other Rotarian volunteers that helped to do everything from deliver Ryla survival kits to pizzas to supporting the tech side of things. Felt really, really good and have gotten excellent feedback. Surveys that went out on a scale from 1 to 5, our average rating for the entire event was 4.5, so feeling good about that. The 11 Ohana Groups, which was how we broke up the students, were very diverse, and it was exciting to have these kids from all the different islands in their Ohana Groups and working together. Their presentations on Saturday night on topics like cancer culture, depression, mental health, online education, creative arts, sustainability, and their presentations were just absolutely amazing. All of us were really blown away at the quality of the presentation that these kids, that the students put together. We had kids from Molokai, Lanai, Kauai, Oahu, Maui, and Big Island. So it was a great representation from all across the state. And we are still doing some of the final wrap up, but one of the things our committee has decided to do is to actually offer some mini grants to any of the Ohana groups that want to take their projects on the, to the next level. And for example, one of the Ohana groups did a presentation on kind of how creative arts is lacking in online teaching formats. And so their recommendation was to send art packages, art kits to students that are interested in art to sort of help and encourage them. So that was, just one example of a project that they might be able to move forward with. We also, during the Ryla time, we met as island cohorts. And so the students talked about possible community service projects that they might be able to do while, when they get back gathering on island. And we were encouraging the students to be involved in the April 24th Rotarian at Work events as well. So kind of interested to see how some of that might play out. I'd invite Brian, Jen, or Karen to offer any other feedback.
I would happily offer my 2 cents. As some of you know, I actually have been doing remote activities for more than a decade. So, you know, the pandemic was new, but this whole being online thing was not all that new for me. So I was actually one of the folks helping with the tech side of things. But I actually was really impressed at the committee that put this together, the gentleman that we had who was helping us to do the technology side of things, the kids and the Rotarians who were, you know, part of the sort of staff of the event, and just all of the good things that I saw that were a part of the virtual Ryla this year. I was incredibly impressed with all of it, and I thought it was an amazing event. There were a surprising number of kids who were like, oh my gosh, it's over already, which, you know, when we first started planning this, there were quite a few people who were like, I don't know, are we going to be able to get these kids to sit in front of their computer and do this stuff for a half a day on Friday and all day on Saturday? But it actually, I mean, we had a few hiccups here and there, some things that we had to kind of figure out on the fly in some places, but we had a really strong technology team, we had a really strong planning team, we had a really strong group of kids. So I think that everybody who was involved in it, everybody who supported it financially or otherwise, should be very proud. We did an awesome job.
Just chime in real quick, is that kudos to Tim Hansen for his leadership in all of this and building a program from scratch. And it's amazing how great Rotarians can do wonderful things. These kids were left with an impression, and we don't want to let it go. We want to try to give them another format to build their resume and get their community service skills out there, because it's amazing their creativity. You know, when we step back and let the youth lead, they know what they're doing, they know what their passion is, and they know what their world wants to be. So it's quite impressive, and we feel like, ooh, we're trying to teach them our ways, but no, this is an aware generation. So I'm proud of them, and I know they'll do great things in the future. Mahalo, everybody. Great to serve on the Ryla team.
Oh, and one other thing that I just remembered, we've been talking about, and Tim, I don't know if you plan to say more about this, we have been talking as a planning team about how to possibly incorporate into next year's Ryla a sort of statewide virtual component, even if, knock on wood, let's all hope by then we can still, you know, that we can get together in physical presence on each island, but still have a virtual component of the Ryla next year that would be similar to some of the things that we did this year. So we took some of those learnings and we're figuring out how to use them to do good things going forward.
Yeah, you know, I think just like my company is, you know, trying to navigate this hybrid, what's the, you know, work from home, work from the office type of thing. It'd be great to have a hybrid Ryla, I think, maybe in the future that has both a in-person and a virtual component. I think it'd be a very interesting and probably hopefully a very powerful way to connect to the students. I do have a question also is, you know, now that Ryla is over, and, you know, it's great to hear that it went by quickly, because getting kids to sit in front of their computers for 2 days is a very challenging thing. But now that it's over, the students that were attended were primarily juniors, a lot of juniors, right? And so they will be their seniors next year, and hopefully will be in their Interact clubs or they're leaders of their Interact clubs. How do clubs stay in touch with their Ryla attendees that they sponsored? If there were attendees that do not have a Interact club, how do we keep them engaged? And it's a little bit of a rhetorical question, but I also at the same time, I'd love to find a way to help support the Ryla team and work together to do that.
Well, Ryan, I think that your presentation during the Ryla weekend was important, and I know you put out your email address there, and hopefully a number of students have been in touch. I know students on the student on Molokai and also on Kauai said, if there isn't a club, I'm going to build one. I'm just going to do it. And they were looking for your support and assistance. You know, our structure this year was a little bit different than in the past. So we weren't necessarily looking for all of the individual clubs to sponsor specific students from specific schools. It was a little broader than that because it was a statewide effort. Some of our clubs have actually received district match grants that we use to help support Ryla. So actually, for example, the Rotary Club of Hilo Bay, which is my club, sponsored a number of students from Oahu and a student from Maui. So it's not that same format as in past years. So it is a little bit different. And when the clubs get their invoices, hopefully, you know, that's not going to rattle them too much. I'm not sponsoring a kid from such and such a school. It's not ours. And, you know, we just have to have a much more open this year, certainly, because everything is so unusual. But all of the clubs that that have supported and will support the students are getting the list of names of specific students that their club will be providing scholarship for, as well as the names of the schools that they're from. So that will be a perfect way for clubs to have names of students and to do that outreach and to continue to make the connections.
Good. Okay. So yeah. So everyone, every club, and again, thank you for everyone's contribution this year. But the clubs that have pledged to support financially will receive the names of the attendees and which school they attend. And so hopefully through that, they can reach out to those particular schools and see how, you know, how they're doing with the Interact Club or not. And if, by all means, Tim, you can always send the overall list to me, and I can kind of look through that and see which schools are more active with Interact and which ones need a little help. And I'd be more than happy to
definitely get you that whole list. That's a great idea.
Great.
The other thing I want to mention is we do have Discord. Some of the kids are still keeping in communication that way, and we can also communicate with them too.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So that would be a good way also to just remind them, hey, you know, I know it's the end of the school year for you, but you know, what are you doing to build your college resume for next year? And you know, hopefully they at least took that away from my presentation. That you know, doing service and doing good work and meeting people is all about, you know, building your experience and building the person you are. So hopefully that rubbed off on them a little bit. But we will I will try to follow up with each of you as the youth service chairs, just to, you know, throw out some reminders as Tim and group are sending out some of these invoices, just to check in with the students that you did sponsor. I know my club sponsored a bunch, and so I always ask them, hey, how did Ryla go? Because you guys are going to be the next officers, and you guys got to tell them next year, the next people to attend next year's Ryla, right? Because that's important, and I know they always have done that for me. And so a reminder to everyone here, make sure that the attendees that you sponsored are telling next year's students to prepare for Ryla, because it's going to be great again next year, I'm sure. So, all right. Anything else to add for Ryla? Jen looks like she wants to talk. Yep.
Yeah, just one other thing is that we will be posting some Ryla videos, hopefully in the House of Friendship, to just get an example of what we're doing here in Rotary. So.
Right, and I hear you also will have about a 10-minute slot at the district conference coming up in May, right?
Right, Tim?
I haven't gotten a time frame, but if it's 10 minutes, we'll do something in 10 minutes.
Naomi, I don't know if it was 10, it was something around that.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes, but it's also for middle school Ryla, so you need to share the 10 minutes, sorry.
Wow, okay.
Hey, Ryan, speaking of the Ryla next year, we've kept our reservation live at Camp Homolani for a live in-person Ryla next year. So that's what we're all hoping for.
We hope so. We all hope so. All right. Junior Ryla, I see Wendy online. I don't see Joanne. Hi, Wendy. So do you want to give an update on Junior Ryla? And I know
I do. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm in 2 meetings right now. Okay. I have something Joanne gave me to share. Can I share my screen? Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Naomi might have to give you permission. I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah.
Naomi knows, she already did it. So as you can see, we're really excited. It turned out amazing. We had 54 students, and these are all middle school. And you can see we had 4 from the Big Island, 17 from Oahu, 26 from Maui, 4 from Lanai, and 3 from Molokai. We had 17 adults. 10 of them were facilitators. We had 4 observers come in, and of course 3 staff. And then we broke them out into different rooms. We had 10 different Zoom rooms, which we ended up breaking into 3 different times. And each time the presenter would kind of guide them on what to talk about. And then the facilitators, of course, would go through it with them. And then we did our big curriculum was the 3 C's, the character, connection, and contribution. And of course, the Rotary 4-way test. And I don't have it in front of me, so I do apologize, but I know that 2 things are coming up is that they're doing a get together again, because they want to meet with each other. They're just so excited. They just don't want to stop talking. And we're also doing something with Toastmasters as well. So we're really excited of the turnout. As a parent, my daughter was in it too. So I got feedback from her on a personal level, and she really enjoyed it. At first, she's like, Mom, I don't want to be on Zoom. I don't want to do, I'm like, you have to do this. This is important, you know? And so she did it, and she loved it, and she can't wait for the next one. And we've just been getting so many responses from the kids. So I'm super excited because I'm hoping that the junior Ryla, of course, is going to get them to go to Ryla when they get into high school as well. So that's just all part of the process. And now that we have the Interact in the middle school, I feel like it's a really great way to reach out to them so they feel like they're getting more as well. And they're not just, you know, hey, you're a club and that's that. But now we're also educating them and preparing them for high school and giving them the opportunities to do like Toastmasters and things like that that they would normally not get. But we were just, it was only 2 hours, which is, you know, it doesn't seem like a long time, but man, it was great. I mean, it went fast and slow, you know what I mean? It was just like one of those things, but the responses from the kids and just everything, the feedback that we got, we sent out surveys and all that stuff. And like I said, they want to meet again. They're not done. Just like with Ryla, they're not done. So we can't wait to do another one. And we are going to continue to keep them bonded as much as we can so that as they move forward to high school, we can get them into Ryla. And as they move forward, they can tell the other people that are in junior Ryla or want to attend junior Ryla to participate in the future. But we really, again, first time we've ever done anything like this. And we had an amazing presenter and it was just awesome. So if you have any questions for me, let me know. But Joanne Laird, of course, is the main person that really wrapped this whole thing together. And I was just a tech guru. I did all those breakout rooms and I ran the Zoom and I did all that kind of fun stuff. And I didn't actually facilitate, but I was able to visit the rooms and check things out. And it was great to just see how much they opened up and the ideas they came up with. Aries, did you have a question?
Hi, Wendy. Thank you
Hi.
for presenting. Unfortunately, I wasn't there to attend. There was a conflict, but I would like to follow up with some of the junior Ryla participants from, I think, Kaimuki Middle and Dole. There were maybe a couple from each.
Yeah, I can give you the list. If you put in the chat your email, I can send you the ones that participated from those schools. Just make sure you let me know which schools and I can give you the list so you can follow up with them.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
So it's great.
Yeah, so that's all I have. Sorry.
No, that's great to hear, Wendy. You know, I just want to thank, you know, Wendy and Joanne on the junior Ryla side of Tim, you know, Brian and Jen and everyone else on the statewide Ryla side. I feel like, you know, I'm just here to bring people together. They do all the really very hard work and they've done a great job. Maybe one of the interesting kind of benefits this year have just been the ability to have these statewide events, just as Jeff was mentioning about how Zoom has allowed HRYF to kind of come together as a state and see everyone from all the different clubs that were selected for HRYF. Same thing, you know, occurred here in Ryla and junior Ryla. And I think hopefully everyone here also kind of sees the continuum of services we're really trying to build. So starting from intermediate schools with the junior Ryla to the high schools with senior Ryla, I guess would be the best term. to Rotaract, to young professionals outside of college. That's really trying to provide that that continuum of services here to everyone. And so hopefully, as you work with youth in your different respective fields or clubs or whatever, make sure you guys all know that these events are happening in different age groups. Yes, Jay.
I was one of the observers, and I was so impressed with the students all around, including Wendy's daughter. I happened to be in her room, but they all opened up. They so quickly became close friends. It was amazing. And remember, junior high is probably the toughest age group to work with, and they did it. So
it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right. Those are kind of the bigger programs and the D5000 programs here. I'm going to go to some specific events that are coming up here. So this Saturday, it's early in the morning, but it's this Saturday, is a virtual Interact conference hosted by Big West Zones 26 and 27. It's actually not on the agenda. I just added it. So I was that in your email, Naomi, this weekend? No, it wasn't, right? I will find some time here in a little bit to copy the link into the chat, but it is free. You just have to register through the Big West Zones. It's at 6 in the morning in Hawaii time because it's Pacific time. So it's a little early, but it's a free time to really talk about Interact and get best practices and learn more information about how to work with Interact, make Interact work for you. Occurring this Saturday, 6 a.m. early morning. I'm not an early morning person, but we'll see if I make it. But it'll be 6 in the morning on Saturday. Was that?
I put the link in the chat. I did
register.
I'm hoping to be there too, but it is early. So, but I did register because it's free, but I put the link in the chat for you guys.
Thanks for doing that, Wendy. So that is happening this Saturday. We've so just to remind folks that we did have 2 opportunities this fall to do some college and career readiness presentations through Gary and Picaro and some of his connections over at Pacific University. We kind of got a little bit sidetracked this spring. We definitely want to keep kicking that back up again and making that something that we can do kind of more on a regular basis. So I'm trying to do one more for this year, hopefully in April or May of 21, before the students leave for the summer. Try to do one for the juniors so we can kind of get them geared up and prepped for college or careers. But some of the topics that we talked about earlier were, financial aid and doing the Common App. Some of the upcoming topics that have been on my plate to think about have been scholarships, leadership, interview, and resume prep. I will definitely follow up with Gary and Valerie and team on if we can try to do one more event before the end of the school year. We do have an upcoming, joint Returns at Workday project, which is the Ridge to Reef project that's going to be happening on April 24th. I see Tiara Evans here from Eco Club, who's going to give us a quick update, please. And hopefully everyone here can make it.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, that's coming up soon. So that's going to be April 24th. I'll be sending out a mass email to all of you and the presidents with the help of Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Just on more details. So this will include the letter with the project details, save the date flyer for your Interact clubs or members of your club, cleanup guide from Sustainable Coastlines, I believe, and some release forms that each club will need to complete and send in. So that will be coming out shortly. And if anyone's interested in being involved in the meetings going forward, you could just put your email in the chat, and I'll forward that over to April.
So does anybody have any questions for Tiara?
I just wanted to say that I'm working with Mariko on Maui to make sure that we get all the clubs assigned an area. And then once we do that, we're going to reach out to our Interact clubs to let them know. So she sent me all the info and stuff, and then her and I have been starting to attend those meetings. So we're hoping that Maui will be covered on that.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, Gary.
Right, Gary.
Yes.
Right, and I just wanted to kind of just add on to what was just said about last night. We had a meeting with Naomi and April and Sustainable and Surfrider. I think what the thing that we might want to do from all of the different clubs is Sustainable has put themselves out in I think Sustainable and Surfrider put themselves out as being able to be speakers at our next our next meetings or coming up meetings prior to the April 24th date of the event. The purpose of that would be to give everyone some background as to what to be looking for, what their mission is in cleanups, what their how to do them, what to look for, how to do classification. So I think it'd be a great way to get some education, because the bottom line is the education about the cleanups more than just the cleanup itself. So if as representatives to your own clubs, if you go back and whoever your speaker sign-up person is, get a hold of either April or Naomi for the Sustainable Coastlines speaker or the contact, and get a speaker in. They'll do them by Zoom. They'll do them out for you. So to get a hold of them, I think it's a great project. I think it's something that both Interact, Rotaract, and all of our Rotarians can get behind, and it's I think it's a great project for our work day on the 24th.
Yeah, great. That's super important. So just to kind of clarify, Tiara, is the intent for because this is kind of a project on your own or with your club or with your Interact club, for each kind of Rotary club and Interact club to kind of maybe think about combining, if they can social distance, try to pick a project, either ridge to reef, to do a cleanup, environmental cleanup. But I do think that it'd be great, like Gary said, to try to do an educational component beforehand with Sustainable Coastlines or Surfrider to have them either speak directly to the Rotary Club or to the Interact Club. Is that kind of maybe the way that I kind of see this going down?
Yeah, I think that's such a great idea. I'm not sure what April has planned, but I do like the educational aspect of it. And I think that, maybe we can set up a day where we can have our Interact clubs, or even a recorded video that we can send out would be beneficial to the youth.
Great. So I would definitely maybe I can be the pilot project here. I will definitely work with Mid-Pacific and Roosevelt and see how they want to contribute. And if we can maybe do a virtual educational session with either organization with them prior to kind of identifying a project. Linda, for Honolulu Sunrise, have we picked a location that we're gonna do our Rotarians at Work Day yet? Not yet, okay. So that's probably on me, because I'm also the community service chair for my club. So I should be asking myself. All right, I will maybe work with Tiara and Gary on doing that. But I think for everyone else here, if you have an Interact club that's thinking about doing a work day for Rotarians at Work on April 24th, try to connect with Tiara or Gary if we can try to add in some sort of educational component for our youth. That'd be a great opportunity to get them connected with Surfrider or Sustainable Coastlines. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Tiara or Gary on that day?
Is it Ryan?
Yes.
We want to do the educational piece. So we're asking all of the clubs when they would like to schedule a speaker, but for Interact, can we ask all of the interactors if they want to come to a workshop with Sustainable Coastlines and Surfrider Foundation? So can I do a poll? Because when Joanne asked the students what's best for them, the middle school, they wanted to meet on Sunday because Saturday they're busy with sports and all kinds of other things. So Wendy, the Toastmaster thing is on Sunday, right? Sunday afternoon. Yeah, so is it the same for high schoolers that they would want to meet on Sunday afternoon? So I'm gonna launch a question, okay?
It's very interesting, especially with it's kind of opening up again. So they, things more activities might be happening on Saturdays. But yeah, it's a good question.
High schoolers, I mean, I'll go ahead and do the survey, but boy, do they like to sleep.
They sure,
I think Sunday is their day of sleep, honestly, but
they sure do like to sleep. I'm guessing it's going to be like a Saturday afternoon might be the best time nowadays. But I please enter the poll. So did most people answer, Naomi?
14 of 20 so far.
Some folks might be away or calling in from a car or something. So
okay, so it's 9 for Saturday afternoon. That was the most popular, and then it's followed by Saturday morning, and then Sunday afternoon.
The students are usually busy with homework in the evening.
Naomi,
so, yeah.
I just looked up the date for the junior Ryla Toastmaster things, and it's April 11th, 1 to 2:15. It is on a Sunday, and I'll forward that over to you, but it's on April 11th.
Okay.
So I will see between Mid-Pacific and Roosevelt, what times work for them too, and maybe hopefully that may be representative of our youth within the state. And we'll try to schedule a workshop maybe where all the interactors can come and just get some education before the 24th for this, before we do this Ridge to Reef cleanup. But that sounds like a good idea to me, Naomi. All right. I just have a few more announcements here or things to bring up. Does anybody have any last questions though for TR and Gary on the 24th project, returns at work? No? Okay. This May, as part of our district conference and Hilo's 100th year anniversary celebration, we are doing a fairly large spread in the Honolulu Star Advertiser. And as part of that, we do want to list every Interact club within the state. And did that include contact information? I totally forgot, but we definitely wanted to list the active Interact clubs, right?
Great.
I didn't think we were including like Rotarian contact information, but just the active clubs, right?
Right.
Okay, so what I would like to get from each of you, and we'll also send a reminder to all the other youth service chairs that couldn't make it, was which Interact clubs are you sponsoring and are active? And that will be listed in a spread in the newspaper so everyone knows that there is an Interact club available to them, and it will also help us identify which ones don't have Interact clubs and where we can maybe do some outreach to either restart one or to create one. And so in the next, I saw Jen already chatted it, but I would say probably in the next couple weeks, if we could get all of that information from each of you as youth service chairs to me, that would be helpful, so I can help Naomi populate this tabloid spread in the thing. And this is going to be May 9th. I think it's going to be on May 9th, right, is when the spread is going to come out in the newspaper. So this information needs to be to me, I think, by mid-April, right? So let's do this here by the end of this month. If possible, I will also send out a reminder. But please, you bet. I guess what I'm just saying is that we all best be agreeing that these clubs are active and sponsored. So because this is going to go public to everyone who reads the newspaper. Yes, Jay, you got a question?
Yes, I was reading the advertiser. I get it on Sunday, and there's a couple of other newspapers on other islands, on the Big Island, but there's none. You didn't. We're not having it in Maui. I think I was just. My wife brought up the newspaper from Oh, here it is. At the back page, it has the Star Advertiser, the TGI, the Tribune Herald, and the West Maui Today. Those are the 4 papers that are listed.
It'll be on Maui too. We're working with the Maui papers too. It's
Okay.
just that they aren't part of the Star Advertiser network.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know, and do I have any pull in there anymore? I don't know. I could try if you're having any problem.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, and I apologize. I have to always continue to remind myself to not be so Oahu townie centric. So this is going statewide. And then my last thing is that I hope folks here have heard, but the district conference this year is going virtual. So we will be primarily focused in on the day of Saturday, the 15th of May. Youth services, we'll be having a couple of sections during the day. We will have a morning session where we'll have some time to recap Ryla. We'll have some time to go through some awards, obviously, and I think the awards programs information will be headed to your clubs soon. Excuse me. But in the afternoon, there will be a couple of youth service breakout sessions. And so I encourage you or whoever may be interested to attend. The first one will be geared more towards Rotarians, where I'll talk a little bit about, I don't know yet, I'm still debating what I want to talk about. But does anybody here maybe have any thoughts about what they want to hear from me, or do some education or training on anything related to youth services? Or everyone here already knows everything about youth services and it's just me? Yes, Joy.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to figure out how we can keep youth services statewide, not just in our own island. I know I feel like I'm on my island all by myself out here in Kauai. And I think it's important that it's a statewide initiative, not just a Oahu initiative, a Big Island initiative, but a statewide initiative to bring youth services together for best practices.
Great, thanks, Joy. And that's something, yeah, I think is very relevant right now, and I can definitely add that in. Make it more of an interactive. Hopefully, come up with some best practices, like you said, but I'll also try to open it up for folks to include some thoughts on that as well. So. If you're thinking about it, chat it, email me. Otherwise, I will come up with some training for our youth service chairs, future youth service chairs, and any interested member of your clubs who want to hear either what youth services have done or will be doing in the future. And then there will be another breakout session. I'm really trying to gear this more towards Interact. I know Rotaract is also important, but our Rotaractors are, generally speaking, they've got some good support right now. I do want to try to gear this to Interact and do some and have some time for training and best practices on how to really make a vibrant Interact club. It'll be a time to also invite your interactors to it. And because it's all virtual, we'll have the opportunity to do that. And so you don't have to send them to Hilo to attend the breakout session. We'll share the webinar link to all of you as well at that point. But it'll be things on like, how to hold a real productive meeting, how to lead a club and lead a meeting, how to maybe plan a template schedule for your Interact and Rotary year, how to incorporate the 4-way tests into your Interact meetings and things like that. And so I will be putting together a program here, probably just an hour or two on that for our interactors, of course, and you all are invited and welcome to attend. And that'll be on Saturday afternoon following our first session on May 15th. Naomi, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. And yeah, gathering suggestions from everybody would be good. But I think with the spring assembly, we'll have a youth service session then. And then with the 2 sessions during district conference, I think we're going to cover it pretty well.
Great. We are, we are, and I hope you all would support me and others in an effort here to try to re-engage and restart a statewide Interact Council. And so I think we're trying to maybe set the framework and the groundwork for how that might operate now, especially now that we all know how to meet virtually across the islands, how to do that and get our youth involved in a statewide Interact Council. And so that's one of the primary goals of my second youth breakout session as well. So with that, my last reminders are just keep up all the hard work. I know we made it through a couple of really big projects. So thanks again to the Ryla teams and HRYF teams. Is another successful year in the books. But the year isn't over just yet. We've got Rotarians at Work Day coming up. We want you to update your club information to me for this tabloid. And the other easy way to do it is go to rotary.org. myrotary.org and update it there because we have to do that every year. And try to attend Rotarians at Work coming up here on the 24th and the district conference coming up on the 15th. I'll also try to remind folks about our Toastmasters session on April 10th and hopefully try to squeeze in one more college career readiness series event before the end of the school year. So that kind of takes us to the end of the Rotary year and Naomi's year. Anybody have any questions? It's about 6:30. So any last questions or thoughts? Jen.
For their support and Ryla, we couldn't have done it without Tiara and Naomi. So besides the Ryla team, we want to thank, and Ryan, the whole D5000 support in this project. Rotary does good things. Yay.
It does. Thank you. Yes, Tiara took care of all of the registration. So that's always the most stressful and important part, and she took care of it. So thank you, Tiara.
Thank you. I was just happy to be involved.
Yes, Brian.
So actually, I'm with the Rotary Club of Honolulu in Oahu. I've noticed that I forgot to say that when I first started talking, as you had asked me to. I wonder, do we have a sense yet of what future District Governor Sandy is going to be doing as far as Rotary Youth Services and where her areas of special focus might be?
That's a great question, and I don't actually have a clear directive from her. I haven't had a chance to meet with her just yet, but Naomi, have you, has the new president's theme been introduced, and is there any thought from Sandy on what might become a priority from her year?
The new president's theme is changing lives. And so the kind of big emphasis is on growing Rotary. So there's a each one bring one membership drive. But you know, for all of our district committees, it shouldn't change that much from year to year, because you guys know what to do. And if we can have continuity and keep going every year instead of changing everything drastically, I think we can get there. Same like Interact. You know, it doesn't matter who the president is. If the president of the Interact Club has continuity, they have a PE, a PN, and they know what to do. It doesn't matter who the staff faculty person is. They know what to do. So same with this committee. You guys know what to do. You know how to do Youth Exchange, Ryla, and Interact. It doesn't matter who the district governor is. You know what to do, and we'll continue. And that's how we have continuity.
Sure.
And continuity in Ryan, because he knows what to do and he'll do much better. We'll build on the successes every year.
Oh, thanks for that vote of confidence. I will say what my personally my goals for the community would be, and hopefully that provides some direction again, is that I definitely want to continue, well, beyond the great work that Ryla, Junior Ryla, HRYF, and all of you kind of individually do for the clubs. I definitely am going to try to continue our outreach to our juniors and seniors for college and career readiness. Workforce development is a huge interest of mine. I definitely will be continuing to try to provide opportunities for public speaking growth. And so that'll be with Toastmasters. I like the Young Professionals Network thing, so I really want to try to continue that as well, where we're doing CEO meetings for our younger professionals. And then the last thing is my passion has always been Interact. I want to try to create a statewide Interact Council again, get interactors working together statewide and planning projects together and doing things together. Try to make it fun, entertaining, a little bit of a competition, maybe even to some degree, so we can get them doing excited and be excited about it and doing good work within their clubs. And so those are kind of my priorities. Yes, Aries.
Hi, Ryan. I have, from my own profession, I've noticed a lot of the trouble is like getting kids because of the challenges now. Have you thought about collaborating? We've recently collaborated with All Star and YMCA, and they're able to supply kids. But I thought maybe we should collaborate, and I can help trying to figure out through YMCA, of course, All Star for middle school, boys and girls. I have contacts with those clubs. If you're interested, collaborating to find kids, because it's so hard going through the DOE. Just a thought. And yeah, number two, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Number two.
Number two, yeah, I have some initiative. I'm going to email it to you in regards of workforce. And also, is there an active club at McKinley, IAEA High School, and Waipahu for Interact?
McKinley there was, IAEA there was, and Waipahu there hasn't been in a while, I think, is my take. Yeah.
Waipahu is, okay, so the only thing is McKinley and Waipahu. And who?
And IAEA.
And IAEA, sorry.
I haven't heard of the Waipahu one in a while, Naomi. Have you?
No, but we do have the president of the West Pearl Harbor who's faculty at Waipahu.
Oh, okay, I'll get more information on that later. Thank you.
Yeah, so into the kind of the first comment or question, we haven't looked to necessarily collaborate with other youth organizations just yet, mostly because the way that the current Interact clubs have been has been very sponsor club driven. There hasn't been a particular maybe theme or drive from the district level. Not to say that there couldn't be. I do want to try to get clubs a little bit more active within our realm of responsibility as much as possible before we start kind of leaning on trying to, not necessarily, overlap with, but to some degree overlap with other youth service programs or organizations. But one thing that I do want to try, and this is kind of part of that Interact Council idea, was try to get regions of Interact clubs kind of working together. So if there was a project that was being done by one Interact club for a certain area within the state, that through Rotary and through the council, we'd be able to get those clubs in those regions participating together to help try to draw more kids out that way. It's kind of my goal. And other community service organizations that shall not be named, but are the Kiwanis, do a very, very good job at mobilizing their volunteer and youth volunteers to whatever projects are going on. And so that's one way I hope to get Interact more directly involved with some of these bigger projects, like, the Children Youth Day or other things. Try to do it a little bit more streamlined and centralized and coordinated kind of within regions. Yeah, Naomi.
Don't forget Leo's, but on the Big Island, Doug Adams was looking into doing an Interact club at the Boys and Girls Club. And I think Brian, Brian for Honolulu, you guys were, maybe someone from your club was going to look into that as well. Because on the mainland, they do have Boys and Girls Club Interact clubs. So that's one idea. And as far as getting the regions together, Maui is starting that now. And Wendy Hornack is getting some of the youth service chairs from the different clubs to kind of collaborate with the interactors. And so it would be good to do that and in all islands to get the regional areas together.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's all I had for today. Thanks for staying a couple of minutes longer here. Again, if you have any thoughts on, feedback or feedback for me or feedback for anything you'd like to hear at the district conference, please let me know. And please let me know on your Interact clubs that you're sponsoring so we can get this into the newspaper. But with that, that's all I had for tonight. Thanks for joining. It's good seeing you all again, but we'll see you again in a month, second Tuesday of the month, and I will remember to send out the agenda and the email reminder before that instead of the day of. But thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a good rest of the evening.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.